The harsh truth about motivation: no one tells you motivation is one of the most misunderstood concepts in personal growth. Everywhere you look, people are talking about motivation like it's a magical force. Get motivated. Stay motivated. Find your motivation. Social media makes it seem like successful people wake up every day feeling fired up, inspired, and ready to conquer the world. But here's the harsh truth no one tells you. Motivation is unreliable, temporary, and often completely useless when you need it the most. If you've ever waited to feel motivated before starting something important, this video is for you. If you've ever blamed yourself for being unmotivated, this video is for you. And if you've ever wondered why motivation never seems to last, stay with me. Because what you're about to hear might change how you approach your entire life. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Motivation does not create action. Action creates motivation. Most people get this backward. They sit around waiting for the feeling, the energy, the perfect mindset to show up. But that feeling rarely comes on its own. Motivation is a reaction, not a requirement. It's the result of movement, not the cause of it. Think about this. Have you ever started something you didn't feel like doing, and halfway through, you suddenly felt focused and energized? That's not a coincidence. Your brain responds to action. When you move, even slightly, your mind follows. When you sit still, overthink, and wait, your motivation slowly fades away. Here's another harsh truth. Motivation is emotional, and emotions change constantly. If your entire life depends on how you feel, you will always be inconsistent. Some days you'll feel unstoppable. Other days you won't even want to get out of bed. That doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means you're human. The problem is that most people let low motivation become an excuse to stop showing up. They say things like, I'll start when I feel ready, or I just don't have the motivation right now. What they're really saying is, I don't want to feel uncomfortable. Because action, especially at the beginning, is uncomfortable. Motivation culture has lied to you. It tells you that success comes from feeling inspired all the time. But real success comes from doing the work even when you don't feel like Italiano. Especially when you don't feel like Italiano. Here's something else no one talks about. Motivation fades when things get boring. At the start of a goal, motivation is high. New ideas, new plans, new energy. But once the novelty wears off, reality kicks in. Progress becomes slow. Results take time. And that's where most people quit. Not because they can't succeed, but because they expected motivation to carry them all the way. The truth is, motivation is great for starting, but it's terrible for sustaining. Discipline is what keeps you going. Discipline is the ability to act without negotiating with your feelings. It's the habit of showing up even when your mind says, not today. Another harsh truth is this: you don't need more motivation. You need fewer distractions. We live in a world designed to steal your focus. Notifications, endless scrolling, constant entertainment. Your brain is overstimulated and exhausted. When your mind is overloaded, motivation drops. Not because you're lazy, but because you're mentally drained. Most people aren't unmotivated. They're distracted, overwhelmed, and tired. They're trying to chase big goals with a brain that never gets a break. That's not a motivation problem. That's an energy problem. Let's talk about procrastination, because this is where motivation gets blamed the most. People think they procrastinate because they lack motivation. But procrastination is not about motivation. It's about emotion. You avoid tasks that make you feel uncomfortable, insecure, bored, or afraid. Waiting for motivation doesn't fix that. Learning how to sit with discomfort does. Here's the harsh truth most people avoid. If you only work when you feel motivated, you will never reach your full potential. Your future will always be limited by your current mood, and moods change. Now, let's talk about what actually works. The first thing you need to understand is that progress starts with commitment, not motivation. Commitment means you decide in advance that you will show up, regardless of how you feel. It removes the daily decision-making. You don't ask yourself, do I feel like it? You ask yourself, what's the next small step? Small steps are powerful. You don't need massive motivation to take small action. You just need to start. Tell yourself, you'll work for 5 minutes. Just 5. Most of the time, once you start, momentum kicks in. And momentum is far more powerful than motivation. Another key truth is this: motivation grows when you see progress, when you track your actions, when you keep promises to yourself, when you finish what you start, your confidence increases. And confidence fuels motivation, not the other way around. You also need to stop romanticizing motivation. Stop expecting to feel excited about everything you do. Some days will feel heavy. Some days will feel slow. Some days will feel boring. That doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It means you're building something real. Let's talk about discipline for a moment, because discipline has a bad reputation. People think discipline is punishment. It's not. Discipline is self-respect. It's choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. It's saying, I will do this because it matters to me, even if it's hard. Here's another harsh truth. If you keep breaking promises to yourself, your motivation will disappear. Every time you say you'll do something and don't, you lose a little self. Over time, that loss of self-trust makes everything harder. The solution isn't more motivation. The solution is fewer promises and more follow-through. Start building self-trust again. Set realistic goals. Do what you say you'll do, even if it's small. Especially if it's small. When you trust yourself, motivation naturally increases. Your environment also matters more than your motivation. If your environment makes the bad choice easy and the good choice hard, you'll struggle no matter how motivated you feel. Change your surroundings. Remove distractions. Prepare your workspace. Make the right actions easier to take. Another truth most people ignore is purpose. Motivation fades fast when your goals don't actually matter to you. If you're chasing goals to impress others, to prove something, or to meet someone else's expectations, motivation won't last. You need a reason that's personal. A reason that pulls you forward even on hard days. Ask yourself this honestly. Why do you want what you want? What happens if you don't change? What does your life look like in 5 years if you keep doing exactly what you're redoing now? Sometimes pain is a stronger motivator than pleasure. Here's something powerful to remember. You don't need to feel motivated to change your life. You need to feel tired of staying the same. That moment, when staying stuck becomes more painful than taking action, that's when real change begins. Let me tell you this. Clearly, you are not broken because you lack motivation. You're not weak. You're not lazy. You've just been taught the wrong system. A system that tells you to wait instead of act. A system that tells you to feel first instead of move first. The people who succeed are not more motivated than you. They are more consistent. They show up on good days and bad days. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems, habits, and discipline. So here's your challenge. Stop asking, how do I get motivated? Start asking, what small action can I take right now? Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. If this message hit you, if it gave you a new perspective on motivation, take a second to like this video. It helps this message reach more people who need to hear the truth. Share it with someone who's been waiting for motivation to start. And comment below, what's one thing you've been putting off because you didn't feel motivated? And if you want more honest, real talk motivation that actually helps you take action and build a stronger mindset, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss what is coming next. Remember, TZ motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. And the life you want is built on what you do when motivation is gone.